Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Folding Towers podcast. Before we roll the episode, I just wanted to let you know about the upcoming Soft Tissue Congress happening on 26th of October, organised by the Melbourne Institute of Massage and Myotherapy. A full day of guest speakers, including a Q&A panel hosted by Jackie and I. That is Sunday the 26th of October 2025, held at La Trobe University, Bundoora, Victoria from 9:30am to 5pm. Tickets are $250, spaces are limited. Secure your ticket today by visiting mimt.edu.au. The link is in the show notes. And before we dive in, this episode does come with a content warning. We are diving into an amazingly deep conversation with Laura Jane Layton from The Laura Jane Layton Show, and we do touch on some sensitive topics. If you do find some of our conversation to be distressing, please reach out to your trusted network for help.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another lovely episode of the Folding Towers podcast. Hello, David. How are you going?
Hey, Jackie. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I got up very early this morning for this episode.
Exciting, isn't it?
It is. Early mornings are not my thing, as you know. But we have a guest from the US today.
We love guests.
We do. Hi, Laura Jane. How are you?
I am doing great. It is so awesome to be here. And it's not early morning for me, so I've got all the caffeine I need.
Wonderful. I've moved from the caffeine to the herbal tea, just so that this interview does make sense. So today we are joined on the Folding Towers podcast by Laura Jane Layton. This is somebody who knows what it feels like to run on empty and, more importantly, how to refill the tank. How is that feeling for you, Jackie?
Am I on the verge of burnout constantly? Is that what you're asking me, David?
Yeah, I feel like a whirling dervish half the time. It's spinning around.
Yeah, definitely. I will admit this to people that ask me. I've been on and off the edge of burnout for a number of years, and there's many reasons for that. I don't just do too much, but yeah, it's not always fun, and I'm so happy that we're talking about this today. It's a very, very timely topic, particularly heading into the end of the year, because a lot of people are very busy at the moment.
Yeah, we're not just talking about burnout. That is a symptom. Laura Jane will be talking to us about self-care, starting from the inside and working outwards. So after more than 3 decades in the corporate world, Laura Jane found herself in a hospital bed following a critical heart procedure. This is pretty serious stuff. And her body's check engine light was flashing in the most dramatic way possible. That moment became the turning point. She realized that the stories we tell ourselves matter and that self-care isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. So now retired from the corporate world, too young to be retired, Laura Jane, you have now turned your experience into a mission, helping women change their self-talk, foster self-kindness, and learning to support themselves the way that they would a best friend. And she is sharing this work through her own podcast, The Laura Jane Layton Show. And today she's here to remind us that we all hold the power to reclaim our time, energy, and joy. This is going to be a very deep dive, I feel.
Yes. Welcome.
I am so excited to talk to you guys. Thank you. I think I'm like ready to just jump right in. Can
Excellent. Let's just go for it.
Absolutely.
When you're talking about burnout, I think of all the things that we just barely do to get by. And I liken it to like, I got to get to the office, so I got to get some gas. So I swing into the gas station, I put $1 in and I run out because I didn't have time to fill up. And then I get halfway down the road, and oh my God, I'm out of gas again. And I swing into another place and I do another $1. And I finally get to the office. Well, sometimes we put our self-care in that same mode. I'm just going to do enough to get by right now,
Yes.
and not enough to really fill me up. And it's really, how do I find the ways that fill me up? Because we're all different. We're all different. And I might need to sit and watch the boob tube for an hour and I feel great. And somebody else might need to go on a hike. So it's finding that thing that fuels you. And it's a trial and error until you find it and you go, whoa, this works for me.
Yeah. Yes.
That is literally the best analogy I have ever heard in my life for this. Like, yes, so
Well,
much yes.
well, I forget what the numbers are, but a significant proportion of massage therapists, not just in Australia, but worldwide, work independently, whether they're from home, on the road, they rent a room by themselves, and they are the chief everything officer. All of the things, all of the decisions, and their primary purpose of providing that care to other people is all done 100% by them, and they're coming home to families or to a partner or their dog or friends who are in need, and it is a lot. It is a lot. I miss the days where I had just that single focus and I sat in a team.
You know, with massage therapists, it's not just emotions, but you're physically interchanging energies with those people that you're touching. And it can really pull the energy out of you when you're trying to create a basic healing process for the person. And it's how do I prevent that? I've always said I want to be a Yeti cup where I stay cold no matter what the temperature on the other side of the cup
Yeah.
is. How do I make that shield? And
Yes.
I found a few ways of shielding myself that work for me that may help somebody else. And I know that we wanted to talk from about self-care, but shielding your energy is a huge part of self-care. And when
Correct.
you're walking into a room and it's full of all these people, I'm an introvert, so I get drained very quickly. I have to put up a safety bubble around me, so I like energetically do safety bubble so that I can protect my energy. And I know it sounds funny, but even if it's placebo, it works for me. So it's worth a try. It's like I
Mm.
am going to protect my energy. I'm going to put this Yeti cup around me and I'm going to stay vibrating at my speed no matter what energies interact with me. So it just takes a practice and time, giving it a shot. And not that it's going to work for everybody, but my husband giggles at me when I'm doing safety bubble, safety bubble.
I used to say that to my husband when our 14-year-old was born. He used to be like not terrified, but he would get so stressed going to the supermarket or, to the shopping mall. And I would say to him, put your bubble on, because he would come home and have had like a panic attack or this massive anxiety just from doing the shopping and already knowing what you need from the shopping center and just going and getting it. And there'd be so many people around, and this is pre-COVID, when everybody used to go and hang out at the shopping centers. And I actually remember saying that to him so many times because he's an extrovert, but he is very sensitive as well. So he he would come home and just have a little breakdown almost sometimes.
Oh,
I
I
know how
get
he
it.
feels.
So, one of the things that helps me is before I had heart problems, I mean, maybe I already had them, but before I knew I had them,
Hmm.
there's little things that happen in your body that are different.
Yeah.
And as long as we're like checking it off to old age and, oh, I just must be burned out, what are the real things, Western medicine, we just want to fix the symptom. And how do I find the cause and narrow down to that? So, one of the symptoms I had is my heart rate was always over 100. And I'm just old, I'm just out of shape. That's just why. And it's like, oh, that was a problem. That's not normal.
Mm.
And it's great that the doctors take all these normal tests for you. But how do you know when you're doing well and when you're not? We have the gas gauge. We know when we're going empty. We
Hmm.
have the idea of every 3,000 or 10,000 miles we need to get an oil change. We have the 30,000-mile checkup. We have all these things in our owner's manual of our cars, which are a great asset, but it's nothing like you.
Mm.
You are the most important asset we have. And until we start trying to find those check engine lights within ourselves, we can't start diagnosing what's causing it. So if it says check your engine or low fuel or whatever it is, what is it that's telling you? Are you waking up with a headache? Are you out of breath? Are you just exhausted and fatigued? All these are things that our bodies are telling us there's something wrong. And it could just be you need more alone time. We're solopreneurs a lot of the time and we're running and running and running, doing baking earning the bacon, cooking the bacon, and cleaning up after the bacon. We
Yeah.
do it all, right?
Mm.
And
Mm.
Yeah.
so, where do we start offloading and finding those things that can help us? One of the things that, and I'm assuming you have something like this in Australia, is Instacart and DoorDash and all
Yes.
these things that just do it for you.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
yes, you can't be a great control freak and let someone else do it for you, but you can learn all the rhythms and all the ways to make it the best possible situation for you. I think it's been 3 years since I set foot in a grocery store because someone else does that for me. It's like, where can I offload things
Yeah.
that I don't need? I had another lady who I talked to, hated doing laundry. She found a service, would come pick it up, bring it back folded and on hangers. Great. What is that thing that causes you the most discomfort or frustration? And how do we fix that?
Mm.
That is such a great thing to remind people that because in our world, particularly in Australia, a lot of therapists will say, oh, you need someone to do your bookkeeping, you need someone to do your marketing or posting to social media for you. But a lot of times people want to be in control of that because we are only small businesses. We might not make a lot of money. And I personally have said to a lot of therapists, maybe you actually need someone to come and cook you your food,
Mm.
to take that huge, enormous, that's an enormous plate to have every single day, or to clean your house, like you said, someone to do the laundry. It's not always a work task that is causing the burnout. Sometimes it's just general everyday stuff.
I would like someone to come in and argue with my kids for me.
All
That
right, I
takes a
love it.
significant amount of energy, and I don't enjoy it.
Okay, let's see. How do we fix that? Get them a dog and say, talk to the dog. What was that old saying? Talk to the hand.
Yeah, that's right. Because the elbow's not listening.
Oh, that's funny. That's a funny one.
But yeah, cooking your groceries, there's so many services now that send you, all you do is 3 minutes in the microwave and you're done. Maybe that's not healthy to you, but where are those trade-offs? And it's
Yeah,
finding what are the priorities to you. And I definitely like work tasks more than I like domestic tasks. And I would
yeah.
rather offload my domestic tasks and enjoy my work more. Like I used to travel so much and I'd come home and my house was just out of array, not a mess, not bad, just not what I wanted it to be. As you walk in and you go, I want to relax. I started hiring a cleaning lady to come the day that I'm coming home. Problem solved. I never got mad at the kids. I never got mad at the husband. It was all taken care of. So it's where are those things that are driving you nuts that you might be able to offload? And cleaning the house right before I came home was the perfect way of keeping the family happy.
Mm.
I love
And
it.
particularly as solopreneurs, for the most part, we have chosen what we want to do, and we've chosen it because it does bring us a huge amount of joy, and the rest of the stuff is existence.
Yes. And sometimes we go through that existence in this robot mode where we turn off all of our emotions and all of our things and just do. I'm just
Mm.
a doer. I'm a human do.
Yeah.
And you just keep doing it and doing it. And eventually you're going to find I need time for me. I need me time. And when I started turning my emotions back on, it was kind of hard to do it. And, it's a little bit at a time. I trickled it. It's like uh, putting in your bath water and just slightly turning on the cold, see how hot you can stand it, and then hurry and turn on a lot. You
Mm,
see how
mhm.
much can I withstand?
Yes.
Where is it comfortable? Okay, now it's too hot. Let me fix it. And as we start paying attention to our daily tasks, you're going to see the ones that are too hot and the ones that make you uncomfortable. Those are the ones we pick to try and find a way to have someone else take them for us. And when I say self care from the inside out, I always talk about not just the healthy eating, not just the exercise that's going to be good for your body, but the thought process. And what are you thinking? And like some of the things that they're popular challenges that have gone around on the internet, so it's nothing new, but challenging people to stop saying, I'm sorry. Like, oh, I'm sorry I'm late. What is that energy? When I say that, I'm sorry I was late, what does that energy feel like to you? Or if you walk in the room, you go, oh, thanks for waiting for me, or thanks for getting started without me, or how does that energy feel? It's more of an empowered, I'm in control, thank you for waiting. And you start not walking in that sheepish shame void. And so even the words we choose cause us an emotional or a physical because our emotions get caught in our body. So, when you're working out a muscle, it's like, whoa, this one's tight. It's usually an emotion that's on it, right? It's like you're holding something
Yeah.
back. Your shoulders are so tight. Those emotions stick in our body. So, if we can find a way to diffuse them or say it differently, my favorite is when I got want to say, unfortunately, he can't show up. Okay, what is the fortune in this? Okay, fortunately, I get the opportunity to do the presentation on my own today. So, trying to take that negative and switching it into something that's going to benefit. It's just giving yourself the momentum to not feel frustrated that someone didn't show up. What is the opportunity in this moment for you? And that's when I like to pause when I'm starting to get pissy, which I do a lot and I am not perfect. But I'll pause and go, what is it? What is this helping me with right now? And that pause can make such a big difference. Instead of spiraling out of control, I at least slow it down.
That is such a fantastic way of looking at it, like really connecting with the words for a moment in that pause and feeling how that makes you feel, because a lot of us don't. We just talk and we say things and we're not really understanding what we're saying or why we're saying it, like not all the time but quite a lot. That's a really interesting take.
I'm one of those people that takes words and make them very real. I think it came from my dad because he'd always twist what you were saying. And, like, oh, so you want this? No, that's not what I said. But you think about it, and we do say a lot of things that are just standard idioms that we
Yeah.
say for no reason other than it's familiar. And if you
Yeah.
think about it, like, oh, I would die for that. Hmm. Then you wouldn't enjoy it very long, would you? So you
Yeah.
take these things and you go, okay, why are people saying this? And I try to figure out how to say it differently instead of, oh, that would just make my day, or that would really help me throughout the week. Instead of I would die for that.
I think as Aussies we do use those kinds of phrases quite a lot. Oh, I'd
Oh, I don't
kill
think
to
it's
get a
just
ham
you.
sandwich right now. I'd kill for something.
As long as you're murdering the cup of tea and not another person, that's probably not a bad thing.
I killed the Leafs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really,
Gosh.
my whole thing is how do I change me on the inside? And for me, thoughts were the easiest. And people say, if you could get rid of one thing in the world, what would it be? Mine's expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pissy because I expected the toilet seat to be down and it's up. I'm pissy because I expected the silverware drawer to be closed and it's open. I expected you to be on time and you're late. It's like I try so hard to go with flow, but I am definitely one of those people that has to say, Pause, pause. It's okay." And I was like, so let's just go with the toilet seat one because I think most women have an issue with that on an occasion, not as much as but on an occasion we will have the toilet seat up. My biggest thought process now is, do I say something to make him feel bad or do I just ignore it? I just ignore it. Because if I say something now, there's two of us pissy instead of one. And that doesn't help anything. So I say, I just expect it to be up. So it's okay. I just expect it to be up. And that makes a whole lots of difference. Do you want another example?
Well, it's choosing your battles, isn't it? Like, do you really want to start an argument over that small thing, whatever it might be?
I think COVID hit this a lot when people are all of a sudden in the same household all day long. And things that you normally didn't see during that 8-hour shift because we're away, all of a sudden it's like banging you in the face with this. Like,
Yeah,
all these things are not what I'm expecting.
definitely.
And you have a break between the people that you live with and the people that you spend time with outside of the workplace. Yeah, suddenly we're thrust into each other's pockets without the break that would usually get when you leave the home to go to your workplace. And these are people that you've chosen to spend your life with, but just not 24 hours a day. And so you start to notice the little things that they do, the little things which may have been adorable at one point, which suddenly become grating. And there's no one to vent to, as you would do in the office sometime. Oh, I can't believe that he did this at the weekend. Oh, yeah, it's not so bad. Someone who'd give you perspective. You, you didn't have that anymore.
Yeah.
But that's over for now. So we can
It
just
is.
enjoy being away from each other for a few hours every day.
Yes, it is over.
All right, so we've talked about check engine lights and we've talked about, changing our words and all the different places where some of these emotions kind of will sit in our muscles and in our body. But, if you think about it as a house, and or even a car, I don't care, but if you spend all your time making that car the most beautiful car or the most beautiful home, and the landscape is manicured and everything is perfect, and this is what we do as humans, we make our outside the most pleasing possible and we ignore the inside. But if you walk into the house and the wallpaper's falling off the walls and there's chips all over the place and things are out of place and it's just kind of unlivable. That's what's on our insides sometimes because we just kind of, I'm just going to stash that feeling. We become hoarders of things that we don't want, but we don't dare process through them because then we have to look at them. And so we just shove it in a corner and we push that in that stress or that I was mad at this person or I'm not good enough for this thing and all these self-doubts that we have and we just shove them in and we just keep looking pretty. Well, eventually our car is going to quit getting to the office because it's going to break down or the home's going to quit being livable and you're going to get flooded because we're not taking care of the important part that keeps you going. And so looking at our bodies as making sure we're getting the maintenance on the inside. What is it? Is it just good food? And I have in my family, we have 8 kids. I have a carnivore, I have a vegan, I have a keto person, I have a clean eating only, organic only. We all have a different diet. And every one of us will swear by the one that we have because it makes them feel good. Is my brother wrong because he's a carnivore? If it makes him feel good, he's right. Now, if your body quits responding, then maybe there's a change. But if your check engine lights are off and you're going, you eat right for your lifestyle, for who you are. And that's what will help you. But if it's like, I eat walnuts, my mouth swells up. Okay, don't eat walnuts. Put it on the off list. You can see a lot of things that your body doesn't like. Now, there's things that we're not going to be able to tell, but it's like, oh, that's why doctors like to weigh us every time we're there. Like, why does that matter? Because to them, that shows whether you're eating properly or not. So, take it as a clue or not. It's up to you. I say, if you can't love yourself fat, you can't love yourself thin. So
Mm,
just love yourself.
mm. Yeah,
Doing your best. And then,
yeah.
so, the exercise, what do you do? Like, I love to do stretching. That to me just, feels so good. I have a son that loves to pump the hardest weights. I don't even know how he does it. He can jump on something almost as tall as his head. I'm like, I don't know how he can be this physical fit, but that feels good to him. And
Mm,
that's what makes him shine. So
Yep.
as we find those things that make us shine, all of a sudden the inside of us becomes shiny. And that's when you are on a roll. It's like it's going to automatically make your outsides look good. But we spend so much time making sure my hair color's just right and the length's just right. And
mm.
there's all these things we do to be seen. But is that what our purpose is in life? Are you just to be seen?
Yeah. Some time ago, I adopted a business slogan of "Do the things you love with the ones you love the most," and that's printed up in my office. And the picture that goes with that is a dog. I think there is this unrealistic expectation that the ones we love the most are the people that we live with, or maybe it's our friends, but it is those activities and the people or the things that you enjoy the most. It may be absolute solitude. It could be laughing at the table with friends and a gin night. It could be walking the dog through the forest, fishing with no one around, or fishing with a mate who doesn't talk, and you're there enjoying the activity together in silence.
Have you found one of those that doesn't talk while you're fishing?
I have a cycling buddy who doesn't talk at me while we ride. This is the perfect introvert's activity. We do the activity together. You know you're not alone. There's
I love it.
You have the 30 minutes of coffee and cake. We say it's not about the kilowatts per whatever it is, kilowatts per kilogram that you put out through your legs. It's the number of croissants per kilo. So the number of croissants per kilometer we can consume.
Love it. And
Oh,
when you say, do it for the people that you love, I also thought, you know, my dogs are the most unconditional lovers in the world.
Mm.
Like, like they're just always there for you. They're not like, well, okay, I have one that just wants food, but he'll bark. If he starts to bark, he wants food. Um,
Mhm.
but they are there for you, and it's very rare to find a human that's just there for you.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And I shouldn't expect a human to be there just for me.
Hmm.
They got to take care of them first,
Yes.
and then whoever else is around them.
Yeah.
So I hope that it also has a picture of someone looking in the mirror
Mm.
because you should love yourself the best.
Yeah. Early on in my career, I rented a room in a CrossFit gym, and I had this image that I'd be working with these amazingly fit people, and it would be glorious as they go to achieve their best goals. And I soon realized that in that particular CrossFit gym, And these people, their bodies were amazing. Shoulders like this, rippling muscles. They could lift heavy weights, heavier than two or three of me stacked together. And they were unhappy. Some of the unhappiest people I've ever met. As this goal of lifting heavier and doing these amazing things was a band-aid covering up something deeper. And I just remember from Cool Runnings when John Candy says to the guys about winning a gold medal. If you're not whole without a gold medal, you'll never be whole with it. And perpetually they were chasing these PBs and were just never happy, just never happy.
Yeah, how do we find that happiness?
Mm,
Really, it is happiness only comes from the inside.
mm,
You know, eh, you can have something that triggers you that makes you happy, but the happiness came from you.
mm.
Yeah.
What's that saying that they have on the internet? Okay, so you just got ran into and coffee spilled all over you. Someone coming in line, you're walking out of the coffee shop, whatever, and you spilled coffee all over you. Whose fault is it? Yours for having coffee. Whatever's in you is what's going to spill out. So if you're joyous and happy on the inside, joy is going to spill
Mm.
out. If you're contentment. If you're angry, anger's going to spill out. So those bumps are just the trigger. What comes out is what's in you. And how do I make the inside of me spill out happiness and joy and contentment and safety to everybody I talk to?
I love this conversation so much.
Yeah.
I love it. That when you first started saying that, Laura Jane, I was a little confused. I'm like, well, whose fault is it? It was just an accident. It was nobody's fault. But then you made the point of what is inside comes out. I was like, oh my God, yes.
And,
Yeah.
and and I was thinking at that point, particularly in our Western lifestyles where takeaway and doing things on the go, it's just the norm now. But you go into parts of Europe and you wouldn't take a coffee away. You'd sit down and enjoy it. You'd stand at the window and enjoy it. If you're in Japan, there's no takeaway. You sit and you eat your food, usually with another person or by yourself. But you would stop and slow down and enjoy it. Why would you be carrying coffee?
It was an analogy.
Yeah, I
It was a great
know. But it's
one.
you see the coffee on the go all the time.
That's such a good point though, David, in that so I think particularly in some aspects of like, Western culture, air quotes, you have that we have to be so busy, but in like there's so many cultures, particularly in Europe and Asia, where they really sit in the moment and they enjoy all those little things. Like they really love their coffee, they love their meal each time. We don't really do that. We just like, well, this I just have to do this. Like it's I just have to get through this. That is such a really great point, David. Can I tell you something that I've been thinking about a lot lately? And this brings me back to my time in high school, pre-phones,
Hmm.
pre-Google is when I was in high school. At lunchtime, and if we had a free period where we didn't have to actually be doing any study, we as a group, there's a me and my friends would go outside, lie on the grass, and watch the clouds. And I
Hmm.
think about that all the time. And I have, especially the last couple of weeks, because as you know, David, I've been very sick recently. Again, I've been just wondering, why am I not doing that? Why am I not going outside, laying on the grass and watching the clouds? Because it's just such like even thinking about it brings me peace.
Mm.
Like it just evokes that calm, slow, because I'm always rushing. And I've
Mm.
really been thinking about that so much lately.
It's your inner child wants to come out.
Yeah.
Jackie, that's one of my favorite things to do is watch the
Mm,
clouds. I
yeah.
love clouds. And last year I was going to go fly a kite because I hadn't done it for years. I bought the kite, but I haven't been out yet. So It just sounded like so much fun to look up at the clouds with this pretty
Mm,
thing in front of it.
It
yeah.
does sound like fun, yeah.
I'd like to talk about our inner narrative and how we talk to ourselves and about ourselves. Why do we not speak to ourselves as in the same way that we would never speak to a friend?
Because we want to be better and we look at ourselves as not good as others. And so we beat ourselves up. It's like, oh, David has this great jawline, and I want a jawline like David. And mine's just this pudgy face. And oh, but I want to smile like Jackie, and mine's just this. We want to be perfect. Oh, I'm reading the book Comparisonitis. I don't know if you guys have read it yet, but it's great at doing this. It's um, the one who wrote Mean Girls, not Mean Girls.
I've
Sorry,
not heard of
I'm
that book.
distracted. Um, it's called Comparisonitis, and I'm loving it because it's talking about us comparing. And when we compare, very rarely are we like, I like mine better than yours. It's always, oh, they have more than me, or they have this and I don't. And how do we get out of that? How do we quit trying to be good because we're like somebody else? And so, as long as we are in, but those negative feelings are also something that's part of our the way we were millions of years ago. If you gone outside and there was a saber-toothed tiger, you looked for the bad things, right? You looked to where you needed to be protected. You didn't really care where you didn't. And so our brains are just naturally going to lock on to that. Oh, don't go there. There's a bitch over there. So she might not be very nice, or we do these things that make us think other people may be bad. So now we start thinking we're bad. And it's just this vicious cycle of, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And it's nobody is the same. Nobody. There's no, I mean, you can go with our fingerprints. There's no nobody has our fingerprints. Nobody has our personality. Nobody has our experiences. Why should I want to be just like somebody else? And when you start going, how can I create my own measuring stick to be my best self? I don't want to go hiking every weekend with my friends. Does that make me not good? I thought so once, but now I have my own measuring stick. I do other things. So, what is your measuring stick for you? And when you start being able to identify your areas of goodness, then the comparisonitis kind of goes away. It's kind of like, I don't need that. I don't need a 6,000 square foot home to clean. I would like a smaller one. I don't need a fancy sports car because I only commute, So, what are these things that we're comparing and why? I love to ask the why. He looks successful. Is that all you want? Is to look successful? That's easy. Anybody can look successful. Not very many people can feel successful. And even the most, I'm trying to think of the right word. I have so much money. But those people aren't satisfied. They're craving more and more and more. There's addictions and stuff. You crave these things because you think it's going to make you feel better. But until you tune in and find your authentic self and who you are, and you use that as your measuring stick, you will always beat yourself up.
Mm. There's that story they tell about John Lennon. He was asked at John Lennon talked a lot about happiness, and he was asked at school, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" He said, "I wrote down I wanted to be happy." And the teachers told me that I didn't understand the question, and I told them they didn't understand life.
Yes.
I've heard that before, so
Mm.
it's got to be true.
Mm.
I'll accept it as fact.
Yeah. What do you do to bring yourself joy?
Are you asking me or
Yeah,
Jackie?
I'm asking
Me?
you, Laura Jane.
You know, interviewing people for my podcast brings me so much joy. It is so fun to talk to people around the world that sometimes you feel alone. And all of a sudden, you like all these like-minded people everywhere. And it's just amazing. And playing with my puppies. Okay, they're not just puppies, they're
Mhm.
dogs, but they're my puppies. They're my babies. And just having them around brings joy. And having my husband around brings joy.
Mhm.
But I am also very content all by myself. I don't need external things to be content. And that word joy, I don't really know. I avoid that word because I don't know it. I know what content feels like. I know what peace feels like. I know what anger feels like. I know what happiness feels like. I don't know what joy feels like. So I use the other words because I don't
Mhm.
know. It's like this word that sounds great, but I don't know it. So maybe I do nothing. I just do lots of things to bring contentment and
Mhm.
satisfaction,
Yeah.
peace.
Well, that's valid as well. You don't have to feel every single emotion in your life. And if you're content, that's perfectly good. There's nothing wrong with that, I would say.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it either,
Mm,
but people always say joy, and that's what I contend it to is content and peace.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It can be hard to define some emotions because we all, as you said, we're all different and we all have so many different life experiences. And some of us might not be aiming for joy as well. Like we might be aiming for contentment or just peace. If you've had a really rough life, you might not want to be around a lot of people. And so you might just want to be content being on your own and just being happy with the small things that you have, be it a child or, family or animals. Animals bring a lot of peace and contentment, I find.
I agree. They don't on purpose try to make you feel bad.
Except when they sit there and look up with their big eyes. I'm the hungriest animal in the world, and you've got a sandwich, and I don't. Just have a little crumb.
That's what makes them so cute.
Yeah.
So it's like, I want your stuff.
Yeah.
It is. What small realistic practices can people start that actually will make a difference in building that balance and resilience? And I love the word contentment. That's an important one as well, I think. Do you have any suggestions, Laura Jane?
Yes, daily reflection, because it's at those moments that you can go, oh, I had a bad day today. What was it that triggered the badness? I had a good day today. What was it that triggered the goodness? And when we start looking and identifying those things that bring us into the realm we want, we can add more of it. But if you just keep going through every day blind, you don't ever put your finger on that. And so it's like, oh, it's the same with food allergies. Oh, I think walnuts make my mouth taste. What do I do? Do I try them again or do I just avoid them? It's like start that reflection. That does it irritate me? Oh, every time George's comes by my desk, I get mad. What is it? And you start being able to look at it in more depth. So, as much as there's so many amazing practices to do, I think unless you can actually do the self reflection, you're not going to get to a point where you even know where to start. So, looking at that, you know, things that went well, things that didn't go well, what I could have done different. How can I keep the wellness pile stacked higher than the not so well pile? And just look at it. And that is where I started. I used to say sorry to the wall when I'd walk down and run into it or turn the corner too fast and hit the wall. Did the wall care? No, but I was so ingrained with being sorry for existing that I would say it to everything. And I'd say it's almost gone. It's almost gone. I still sometimes spit it out. But it wasn't until I identified that that was one of those things that I was feeling like I was ashamed to even exist. I was sorry for everything until I was able to get rid of that word. I didn't know. And so it was that self reflection process of what is it and why? I don't think you can do it without the why. And that's where that reflection comes in.
This episode is just absolutely chock full of amazing takeaways.
I like lots of little ones.
The little ones stack up into big ones. Uh, there is so much that happens in the world of marketing that is around guilt, guilting us either from insufficiency or guilting us that we might be like something. And I've seen even some massage educators just in the last few days, if you're not doing these things, you're a crap therapist. And
Oh,
we don't need that level of self-talk, that level of narrative in our lives. And we've already talked about today, we're all different. The way that we treat people is different. The way the reasons why people come to see us is different. But there are those who want to assert their authority and I guess they're just trying to position that they're better than everyone else. If you're not doing what I do, you're crap. And why do we do this?
It's a marketing tool. You know, people
Why do we market with
want to,
guilt?
I know, but people want to fix what's not working.
Yeah.
That would be like me saying, and this is a real example. This really happened. I put together a course that was a course in self-love. Do you think anybody wanted to take it? No. But if I reword it and say this is a course in weight loss,
Mm,
all of a sudden people are jumping on board. It's the
mm,
exact same course, but they want to fix something.
mm.
And self-love isn't something you fix, it's something you do.
And it comes with a degree of vulnerability too.
So it's like it makes you go, "Oh, I want to fix. I want to do that. I want to buy that." And I when I started this podcast, my podcast, I have silencing the inner bully as my tagline. I hate it. I want it to be being your own best friend. But nobody wants to be their own best friend. They want, so it's just like, what are these things? But really, we need to treat ourselves like our own best friends. And to me, it's turning off that bully voice in our head that's constantly putting us down. And it's not turning it off, it's changing it by fixing the words,
Yeah.
finding the words that you're saying that are bad. Like use the unfortunate to fortunate. It's a simple, tiny change. And it's like when I use a word that's negative, I or perceived as negative, I sit back and go, how could I change that sentence? How could I make it where it's positive? Um, and that is the way I choose to change my insights, is always communicating through the positive as much as possible. But humans like to know the negative too. So
Mm.
we add a little bit in there for them.
Yeah.
that is so true.
Like when
Um,
someone says, "How are you?" and you say, "Fine," like all these things, you really think they go, "Oh, I woke up and I had a headache and I didn't get, I was running late, so I took a really quick shower, so I wasn't able to really wash everything." And nobody really wanted to know how you were. They just really wanted to know, "Hi."
that is so true. That is culturally in Australia, that is so true. We don't want the answer to the question, how are you? Like, generally speaking, it's fine. That's all we
So
want.
I started asking people, what's gone good in your day today? I want to hear
Mm.
it. But it also takes you away from, if you say, how's the weather? You can analyze whether it's good or bad, right? But if I ask you, what's been good in your day today? And your brain is starting to process all those good things. And it might run into a negative one and you go, oh, I'm not supposed to think of that. Throw it out. That is how you change the way you think. You ask yourself the positive questions.
Mm.
Interesting. I love it. It's a little pivot.
Yeah. And there's that emphasis that a lot of coaches have placed on daily journaling and the bullet journals and things about writing down, so you can reaffirm to yourself that the day hasn't been all bad, or maybe the bad has just been a little thing that we've fixated on and blown it out of proportion. There are some truly bad things that do happen, but a lot of it is just that inner talk and fixating fixating on things that don't deserve that time or energy.
Well, and let's get real here. And this is going to be on the deep side, and it could be kind of uh, not the most popular subject, but at one
Mm-hmm.
time in my life, I was raped.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can think about that moment and that fear over and over and over and over again. That incident happened one time.
Mm-hmm.
That incident happened a million times in my head.
Mm.
I am the one that kept holding on to it instead of leaving it in the background. I am the one that wondered why it was me. What did I do wrong? Bad shit's gonna happen.
Mm.
But we also need to move on. And I'm not saying ignore it, it's going to be a part of your life. It made you who you are today. But we can spiral up. We don't have to
Mm-hmm.
spiral down. We can take it and go, I got through this. I am doing okay. I don't have nightmares anymore. And eventually you can get rid of it by spiraling up instead of
Mm-hmm.
down, by changing the way we think about it.
Yeah. 21 years ago, I was stabbed in the street, and I remember asking at the time, like, why did this happen to me? And then there's this inner dialogue of, well, what made you immune to that? What makes you think that you're immune to bad things happening? And just remember someone saying at the time, uh, because you do the self-blame thing of what did I do to contribute to this? Could I have prevented it? And there's evil in this world. There's evil in this world. It's just you happen to walk into that path that day. Yeah.
And you're okay.
Hmm. I
Do you
lived.
still have nightmares?
Occasionally,
Okay.
occasionally the flashbacks come, but I also fixate on that day I lived.
Yes,
I didn't nearly die. I lived that day.
that's beautiful.
Mm.
And it is. It's the way we change it around. And it's one thing at a time. There's no way. There might be someone who can do it a lot. I had to do mine one at a time.
Mm.
It's one challenge at a time, and this is what I'm doing. And I'm still do challenges all the time because to me, that's how I learn. You know, that person who was in an abusive relationship, and every time she got beat up, he would come and say, I love you. If she hears those words, what do you think she feels?
Mm. Mm.
Fear.
Mm.
Where most people, you hear the word, I love words, I love you, and you feel, oh,
Mm.
so wonderful. So our upbringings change the way we respond to words. And so mine might have been sorry, yours might be love. You know, it's what is the word that triggers you into I'm not, shouldn't be in this existence? And switch those around first. The most powerful ones to you.
This is very, very heady stuff.
Let's go back to our hearts.
Yep.
So, well, here's a question for you then, to get us maybe back on track. What about balancing the tension between, as a lot of body workers and massage therapists do, they want to serve others. We get into this line of work because we want to care for people and help people be, amazing. Um, and how do you balance that with remembering to actually put yourself first and actually look after yourself? Because I have the same thing. Like I have children, I look after all of these things around my house. I'm as David said, the CEO of my business. It's a lot. How do you find that balance? What can we do?
It's one thing at a time. It's what is the thing that makes me feel the most out of balance right now? And if it's the kids, then we figure out how to deal with that. But
Yeah.
it's looking at what is the most emotionally draining thing on my plate. And that's the one we clear off first
Okay.
because that's where you're going to get the most lift. They call it the low hanging fruit.
Hmm.
This one
Yes.
will get it done. This will give me the biggest lift. So,
Okay. That's good advice. And I think that comes back to, do you need to get a cleaner in to come clean your house? Do you have something that you would, maybe, if you could go back in time, Laura Jane, to whisper to your younger self? Any advice that you might, give your younger self? I know we all, as we age a little bit, we all think about, oh, I wish I'd done this, I wish I'd done that.
I think it would be nice to go through life not trying to fix other people. Um, so much of my time was thinking how broken everybody else was and wanting to change all the things on the outside of me that I wasted a lot of years when I could have been taking care of what's on the inside and fixing me first. Because you aren't going to fix anybody else. It's not your job, it is an inside job. And if they're not willing to make a change, it's not going to happen. And so I would just say focus on you, not everybody else.
Such good advice. I love it. I think as a slightly older person, I guess middle age is the correct term, which I actually hate that term completely. Um, that's good advice because you start to sort of think as you get a little bit older, oh gosh, I was so hard on myself, and like after having kids, your body changes, and you get older and your body changes, and you look back and you think, like, I was just so hard on myself. I was doing the very best that I absolutely could at that time. That I love
Mhm.
that.
And being hard on yourself is kind of a way of fixing, but I want it to be a happy me. And that's by
Yes.
finding the joy.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Not denigrating yourself and saying, "Oh, you're useless and you're terrible." Like you want to be positive about it in a positive fashion. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What is it that gives you hope right now as you look at your life going forward?
Knowing how many amazing people there are out there, that even though the climate or the politics and stuff is uneasy and things are a little bit tense, that's the small amount of people that get the huge voice. And there are so many of us. If we start standing together, we can be as loud and as powerful as those other voices. And I love to know that we just need to stand together. We just need
Mm.
to be here and support one another. And that gives me hope, knowing how many beautiful people there are in the world.
There's a question which we would usually ask our guests, which we didn't warn you about, and we've forgotten to ask. Do you have a favorite superhero?
I do.
Who is it?
Black Canary.
Yeah? Tell us more.
Right. Because she's a superhero, she's gorgeous, and she doesn't have to have all those stupid powers that everybody else has to be amazing. She just has to scream.
Yes.
Sometimes I just want to scream. And so she's my superhero because she knows
Yeah.
how.
This
And
is a
if you don't
new
know who you
person
are,
to me.
look, look her up.
From the Arrow.
There was a time in my career when I worked for a company called Super Value.
Yes.
And as a project manager, at the end of every one of my projects, I would assign somebody a superhero.
Hmm.
So I would spend hours researching. Like one guy got to be the question because he was so good at asking questions in a way that his idea became yours. And
Yeah.
so I spent time and it was people loved getting their superhero. So it was like, oh, what's mine going to be? After a while, it got too hard to find new ones.
Mm.
So that's the only reason I found Black Canary in the first place.
Yeah, wow. This is a DC character, which is probably
Yes.
why I'm not familiar with her because I'm not right up on the DC characters. But
Yeah, from Green Arrow.
yeah, I mean, I sort of know who that is, David, but like I'm gonna have to go on a little
You have
Google
to go a little
search.
binge fest now.
I
Yeah.
actually have a Barbie of her in I have a room that I call my reading room. And there, I actually have a Barbie in there, this Black Canary.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love her power though. I love it. Like that sounds amazing, and I'm really resonating with that right now. So
Yeah, it's like my superpower is my voice.
yeah,
That's what I have to offer. That's what I have to share. And so I resonate with somebody who uses their voice as their superpower.
amazing. I love it. I have absolutely loved every minute of this conversation with you, Laura Jane. Thank you so much for
Oh,
talking to
you
us.
guys have been a riot. I loved it.
If you have enjoyed this episode and enjoy what we are doing here on the Folding Towers podcast and want to see and hear more of it, head to foldingtowerspodcast.com.au. You will find us on your favorite listening app, whether that be a Spotify, an Apple Podcasts, an iHeartRadio. Don't forget to like and to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Look out for us on the socials, Facebook and Instagram and the Exy thing that no one wants to talk about. And this has been a wonderful conversation, Laura Jane. I can't say it's been a scream, but it's been very deep. And I love going deep.
Yes. Yes.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It's been my pleasure.
Thank you for sharing your heart and your story with us.